Hey guys, it's Rena, and today we're going to be doing lesson 3.10, but today's special guest is...
Hi, I'm Chelsea. I've done a couple other videos, but I'm an AP Calc AB, and I'm so excited to help.
Alright.
Okay, so we're going to start with question 2, and we're going to subtract 4 from both sides so that we can separate the cosine and the x. We're going to do -3 equals cosine x equals 3. And then we're going to divide -3 from both sides, so you'll get cosine x equals -1, and in order to find the exact value of the unit circle that would be, you would do inverse cosine, so it would be x equals cosine inverse of -1. And when you think about the unit circle, you can split it up however you need. You would do 0, pi over 2, pi, and then 3 pi over 2. And obviously this value can also be 2 pi. And wherever the value of cosine is -1, so where this x value equals -1, that would be the answer. So if you think about the values, 2 pi would be 1, 0, so that wouldn't be it. Pi over 2 would be 0, 1, and then pi would be -1, 0, so that's the correct value. So your answer will be x equals pi. Okay, question 2 done. Next we're going to do question 3. So we're going to start off with square rooting both sides so that we can get rid of the power of 2. So you would do square root, and that would get you tan x equals ±1. And then when you do inverse, you do x equals tan inverse of plus or -1. And again, you can think of the values on the unit circle. So when you're thinking of tan, that's going to be your pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, and 7 pi over 4. Because those values are always root 2 over 2, and then if you divide that by root 2 over 2, then it's going to get you just 1 or -1. So, when you think about those values, pi over 4 would be root 2 over 2 over root 2 over 2, so that would get you 1, which would be one of the answers. So x would equal pi over 4. And then 3 pi over 4 would be same concept, but with the negative this time, but again, that doesn't matter because the value could be either a plus or -1. So you just keep going like that, and eventually you will get 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, and 7 pi over 4. And all 4 of those will be an answer because they all equal plus or -1. Next, we're going to do 7. So, you would start the process with taking out a 2 cosine because they both have cosine in it and they can both be divided by 2. So, you would take out 2 cosine and it would get you 3 cosine plus 2 equals 0. And then from there, you're going to separate the 2 to see what those values are for 0. So, 2 cosine of 0 and 3 cosine. Separate those 2. For what values of those will their inverses be 0? Let's see. And this one would be is you take the opposite, so you would take this number first and then the number on top and make it negative so that it would cancel it out. And that would get you pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, about 2.3 when you plug it into the calculator, and then about 3.98. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to start with question number 10. So we're going to start with dividing both sides by 4. There we go. Divide both sides by 4, so you'll get tan squared with 2x in the parentheses equals 3. And then when you do square root to both sides, that'll get you the tan of 2x equals plus or minus, I'm going to make sure to add that in, that's really important, to the square root of 3. And then from there, you'll be able to bring the tan and do an inverse, and do tan inverse of plus or minus, don't forget, 3 equals 2x. And from there, you'll be able to tell from the unit circle that you draw that it will be these values here. So based on those, and when you apply it out and see what works for both these values, it'll get you pi over 3 plus pi n, we're just going to use n as our variable, and 2 pi over 3 plus pi n, and then your final answer will be x equals, oh, and all of this, you would do this and divide by 2. And your final answer would be pi over 6 plus pi over 2n, and pi over 3 plus pi over 2n. Perfect. Okay, now we're gonna do question 11. So, you're gonna start by dividing both sides by 7. So it would be sine square of x equals 5 over 7. And then do same process, you do square root, and do sine of x equals plus or minus square root of 5 over 7. And then you do the inverse yet again. And it would be x equals inverse of plus or minus square root of 5 over 7. Based on the unit circle, it would be, just going to draw the middle points, it would be about there and there again, which would get you x equals 1.006 plus pi n, and negative 1.006 plus pi n. There you go. Just got to plug those into the calculator and it'll be great.